is prepared for Oklahoma. I just feel like she went in her closet and she said, "Speak to me, Oklahoma," and it did. It spoke to her in a big way. She's awesome, she's hilarious. We're excited that she's here with us this weekend. Please get up for Alaina Huffman! I think it was the tassels that made me think
that I was Oklahoma?
Yeah.
And my boots?
And the boots.
And my dukes?
Boots too. And, well, whatever.
Boots and dukes.
Just the purse.
Just the purse. It goes well with your outfit.
Thank you, I thought so.
Yeah.
I might borrow it later.
Rich thought he was gonna wear the same thing as me today.
It's so crazy, I almost wore it. I held it up in the mirror and I said, no.
I swear to you guys, every weekend I get here, Rich is like, I was gonna wear the same thing.
So the weird thing that, this is a true story. This is not, I don't know what this is. It either speaks volumes to our friendship or it's a real assault on my fantasy life. But I've had more than one, and she knows this, by the way. I've had more than one dream about Alaina, and it's always just us chatting.
Yeah.
And one point it was me asking you where you got your jumpsuit.
I had a gray jumpsuit, and I walked in the green room, and he was like, I had a dream about you wearing a gray jumpsuit.
Yeah, and it was trippy.
Yeah.
And it was the exact same jumpsuit. So if I'm like Nostradamus, it's only from a fashion sense. I can predict the future.
A very specific one.
Yeah,
mine.
very specific.
Just mine.
Anyway, enjoy yourself, Alaina.
I think maybe Rich has like a camera in my closet or something. What's up, Oklahoma? How are y'all? I've never been here. Thank you. My sister went to UNT. I live in Dallas, and she went to UNT, and they used to go to the Oklahoma side to get drunk in college. It's a thing to do. So I had a little nostalgia. I drove up here this morning, and I was like, oh, I should stop and have a drink, but I didn't. Anyways, who's first time here? Look at y'all. I guess because we haven't been to this city before, have we? No. And this convention center's so nice. When did it open?
A couple years ago.
Yeah, it's so pretty. Like the chairs are all lined up backstage in order. So nice. We'll come back in a few years and be like, what happened? It smells like paint in the hallways. It's lovely. The little things. So, well, this is a new city. I'll usually start with like a little story about myself. So if you come often and you're bored, sorry. But for you new people, I just kind of like to tell how I got into this business and how we got here, and then hopefully we can start with some questions so I don't have to tell you stories about my kids, which I don't mind doing. It's just not as exciting if they're not your kids. So I started my career, I'm from Vancouver, born and raised. We shoot a little show there called Supernatural. There's a lot of shows that shoot there, but I did not start my acting career in Vancouver. I actually started my career as a model in the 90s when they liked girls to look like they were 12, because I was 12. And I did this photo shoot this week, and it was for like undergarments. And I was like, who hires like a 40-something-year-old to shoot this stuff? And I was like, well, in fairness, I was shooting bridal and lingerie at 14 years old. So the fashion industry is very bizarre. But so I started my career as a model. I traveled around the world, and then I actually ended up living in Texas, in Dallas, and I signed with an agency there because I was going to school there. And the agent brought me into her office one day, and she's like, you know, we're seeing more and more actors on the covers of magazines these days and less models. Do you think you might want to be an actor? And I was like, sure, I'll try it. And I just kept booking movies. I booked a lot of movies out of Austin. So I started my career in Austin, really, Dallas and Austin. And then between New York and LA, I was kind of back and forth, and I ended up moving out to Los Angeles. where I never work. I lived in Burbank. Anyone been to Los Angeles? Yeah, a little bit, no? The business of Hollywood is right in Burbank. All the studios are there, and I never worked there. I always worked in Vancouver or anywhere else around the world. So I figured I didn't have to live there anymore, and I moved. But I shot a lot of shows there. I shot a show called Smallville. You watch Smallville? Yeah, that was a fun one. Stargate fans, yeah. That was fun. What a blessing that show was. I love TJ on that show. I love the whole show. I love the whole series. And then Supernatural. I just came off, I did the 100 up there and Riverdale. I just came off Riverdale. Yeah, so that's like a little bit about my journey in this business, and I'm so blessed to like be able to come out and we've created this big, beautiful global family, and it's such an asset and such a blessing, and I feel like we've done so many great things globally through this sweet little show that could. Who's watched Supernatural more than once? Yes. More than twice? Who just has it on in their house? Yeah. Like every gym you go into, it's just on there, right? You're like on the treadmill, I'm like, there's Jensen. It's in every household. Do we not have questions yet? Oh, we have one. Hi.
Hi, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about any upcoming projects that you have, either acting or modeling.
Yeah. I have a couple movies. I have one out right now on Prime. It's called Jonah. We premiered it a while ago. Like I think it's now free on Prime in America. But I shot it with Osric Chow, and yeah, he produced it. He called me. We made it during COVID, or just after COVID, like 22. We made it, and he called me one night, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to do this movie that I'm producing? We're gonna just kind of shoot it like down and dirty. It's a small budget, but it'll be a lot of fun." And the writer and the director, he was a lamp operator on Supernatural, and then we kind of like got together this little crew, and the lead of the show is a little boy, and so he's like, "Do you think Lincoln would like to do it?" That's my son. And I was like my Lincoln? And he goes, "Yeah, the title character, Jonah, is this little boy." And I was like, "Well, Lincoln's not an actor." And he's like, "Well, maybe he'd want to be." I was like, "Well, we'll ask." So he just made sure he was getting paid, and then he agreed to do it. And he decided very early on in the process that he does not want to be an actor. So I feel like I've saved him a lot of strife in life. But yeah, so Jonah is out on Prime, if you haven't seen it yet. And then I have another movie that I shot in Tahiti called Waltzing with Brando. And it's about Marlon Brando. So we shot it, like it's a period piece. It took place in the 70s of Marlon Brando inhabiting the island of Tetiaroa, which he bought. And fun story, he took The Godfather so he could pay for that development, because he did not want to be an actor. And he used to call his Oscars doorstops. So full circle, I took the movie because I knew it would be an Oscar contender because we had Richard Dreyfuss in it, and we did get shortlisted for a couple categories, but we did not get nominated. But that'll be out in September. It just got sold at Cannes. So yeah, those are my projects that I have coming out. And other than that, I practice my full-time job of looking for a job. That is the life of an artist, and I feel very grateful to have lived my entire life that way so far. So something will come. It always does, right? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Do we have anybody over here? Oh, y'all gotta ask some questions or it's gonna get real boring.
She's coming.
Woohoo!
Hi, Alaina. You are very beautiful. You look amazing.
Thank you.
But tell me, do you have a favorite episode in Supernatural that you were in that you just thought it was like awesome?
It was a long time ago. Sometimes I forget, and then we'll go back and like rewatch like snippets, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a good show. I often do that. Or sometimes I'll watch something and I was like, I was in that? Oh yeah. I really, honestly, I feel really, really grateful to have been a part of this franchise. I mean, it's just, again, it's so globally connected, and I was fortunate enough, Adam Glass is the writer that created my character, and he was really communicative, and so he would send me emails about what he intended with Josie. He named her Josephine after his daughter Josephine. So yeah, it's really sweet to have that connection and to understand like what you mean to a writer and that you were chosen, and it's like a very coveted position. So I always feel super grateful for the opportunities. He was really good about, you know, giving me a lot of layers and depth. I would say probably one of my favorite episodes I did was Mother's Little Helper, because Misha directed that one, and so often that I've had the fortunate experience of having is watching an actor or a script supervisor or a camera operator sort of graduate up and fulfill their dream of directing an episode for television, and it's such a beautiful experience. I saw it a lot on Smallville, I saw it on Stargate, and then we've had a lot of directors be mentored up through Supernatural as well, so it was really cool to see the support that Misha got during and my first episode actually was Serge, who was our DP, and same thing, everybody kind of gets to move up, and then there's like this family that supports you. So he did get pranked a lot. I was there when Jared almost broke his nose with the pie. I was like, oh, did it hurt? He's like, yes, it hurt. But yeah, that was really fun. And then also I met my dear friend Gil McKinney, you know, on the first day of shooting. So we found out that we live like a mile away from each other, and so we became really good friends over the course of shooting Supernatural as well. So all of it's just such a blessing. I take no credit for Abaddon. I really like just kind of, she just appeared. I just allowed her. And I tell this story often too, but like when I first got the audition for Supernatural, like any other audition, it just comes in. Just for reference, last year I had 72 auditions and I booked one job. So you do a lot of like interviews, and you know, they don't feed you in the way, they feed you in other ways. And so a lot of times, like, you audition for things before you get them. And so when Supernatural came through, I was like, that show is still on? And that was in the middle of the run. So I was like, but demographically, you know, usually if you're right for a show, you read for it multiple times. The producers like to get to know you. And I hadn't ever been in for it, which I just recently put together. I was pregnant a lot the first few shows. I have 4 kids, so the whole run I was pregnant basically, and on other shows. So that would make sense as to why I wasn't auditioning for the show. But also in my last pregnancy with my son Lincoln, I had colored my hair red. And then I got an audition for Supernatural. So I feel like maybe it's because I wasn't a redhead that I never auditioned for it. But my first audition, the audition that I had was the first episode that I did, which was I get stabbed in the back and shot in the head, and then my head gets chopped off. That was my audition. Like, y'all saw it done with vis effects and angles and the whole crew on it. That was just in a room. And I was like, how am I gonna do this? And I don't know, I did it and I got the job, so thank goodness. But yeah, all of it, to answer your question. Thank you, yeah. Hi.
Hi, my name's Haley, and my birthday was yesterday, and I like to party. You're right, Oklahoma is the place to get crunk. So I want to ask, what kind of cocktail do you think Abaddon would be, or what she would order?
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, did you go turn up, or that's what you're doing this weekend?
That's what I'm doing here at the convention.
Yeah. Are you coming to karaoke?
Oh, of course I am.
Okay. Well, we'll have to celebrate you. Bloody Mary, maybe? Does that make sense? Just the blood. Just the blood.
Tomato.
I don't like Bloody Marys though. Yeah. What's your go-to drink?
Oh, I like a mimosa. I'm simple.
Oh, that's That's nice. I don't feel like that's simple. Like I couldn't make one, so it's not that simple, right? But that's nice and clean, good summery drink. I'm boring, just like vodka soda. Yeah. Anybody like tequila? Yeah? Why do y'all like tequila? It's so gross. I swear I'm the only one. People are like, you just don't have a refined palate. I'm like, well, good. I don't like that palate. It's the what? It's trauma? True. We all have a 1 tequila, 2 tequila story. That's true. The smell, you're like, oh God, I was 18 and yeah. I mean 21.
Girl, I'm the same age as the show.
We're all the same age on the show.
I'm 20. I just turned 20 yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, so you can't have a drink. Why are you asking?
In Oklahoma, it's 16 under legal supervision.
Oh, they're all like, liar. My son just turned 21 last week, and I can't wait to take him out for a drink. He's away at college, otherwise I would have already, but as soon as I get him, we're gonna go get drunk. And my daughter's gonna drive, so we can have drinks. That's the benefit. We'll have the best time.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you get to spend your birthday with us. Was that like part of your plan? Were you
Yes.
like, oh yes, they're having a celebration on my birthday?
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, it's a sign to spend $1,200. So. And you look gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. So nice to meet you. I hope you have the best weekend. Hello.
Hi. First of all, I just want to say you were so pretty and I love you so much.
Thank you. Never stop.
Oh, never.
Thank you.
My question is, when you first started on set, were you really nervous to meet everyone or were you like already family?
You know, I'm sure everyone shares this sentiment. It was the easiest set to sort of like jump into. I think I was like on set for 4 minutes when Jared and Jensen both came in the makeup trailer to introduce themselves to me. And we bonded over being from Texas. So that was an easy conversation. No, everybody's lovely. Like, I'm Jeannie Chow, who does hair on that show, she still does my hair. She's been doing my hair for 15 years. She's a dear friend of mine. The makeup department, like everybody, we're all really close still. So not just the actors, but the crew as well. A lot of times too, like I said, I've done so many shows in Vancouver that you'll go from show to show. So like our props guy on there, he was my props assistant on Riverdale. So we have, you know, these long running careers that parallel, and it's just such a blessing. So it was easy. There was only one time I was nervous going to work, and it was the second season that I was in the opener, and I had to say all those dirty things to Dean. And I was like, oh my gosh, how are you gonna do this? Because because a lot of people like that scene, you know, the scene where she's like, I would do all sorts of nasty things to you, or whatever. I was like, oh my gosh. And if you think about it, like for Abaddon, it's fun. For Alaina and Jensen, it's awkward. And he's like right there, so I'm, bravely saying dirty things to him. And behind him is in the entire crew of men we work with. And I'm like, okay. So that's like the only time I was a little nervous, but it's fine.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming. Have fun. Are you coming to karaoke? Okay. Come to karaoke. Who's coming to karaoke? Okay. We have fun. If y'all change your mind, who's not coming, y'all should come. Hello.
Hi. First of all, your character was so badass in the show. So my question to you is, when you died the first time, did you know you were coming back, and did you know how you were gonna come back?
No. So the first time I died, that was the one where I got shot in the face and my head chopped off.
Uh-huh.
And the whole crew was like, nobody's ever dead on Supernatural. I was like, I feel pretty dead, y'all. Like they kind of like unalived me to the max. But then they brought me back, and I had no idea how that was gonna work. And I really liked how they did that. I thought it was, I thought it was really clever. And then they killed me again. And that's the other thing I had heard. It's like, you're not really dead until they burn your body, and they burned my body. And so I was like, okay, well, this was fun. Thank you guys so much for the experience. And did you know, I always tell this story, I'm sure you guys know this, but do you know what the holy water is? It's lube. So, so in the scene where they like unalive me that time, Jared, throws a bottle of holy O, they call it. And I'm like facing him, and it all went in my mouth. Yes, and I was like, what is that? Like, it's lube. I was like, oh my gosh! So it's like mixed up lube. It's flavored, and apparently it's a demon killer. So yeah, my bones were burned. So I was like, well, that was fun. And then I was alive again. And then when they killed me, it was written in the script at that time, season 9, that it was the most epic death in supernatural history. So I was really proud of that, because it was written in the script. And then they were like, well, you know, season 10. And I was like, good luck, season 10, okay. And then they went on for like 5 more seasons, but I didn't come back. But yeah, I did not know, but it was fun each time.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
You're awesome. So.
Thanks. I suggested that they keep me around just to kill me and get all their issues out. It'd be like writer's room therapy. I feel like half the time that's what it is, but.
Hi, I'm Molly, and I just wanted to ask you, it's probably a stupid question, but...
No stupid question.
Okay. Which did you prefer to act in? The bloody but very beautiful ball gown that, you know, that your previous character wore, or the Abaddon badass goth chick kind of wear?
So between the two characters, I always say like Abaddon was so rad, but I actually feel like I really wanted, if I had a dream, it was that they would have brought me back as Josie and to explore that storyline, especially with the whole Men of Letters storyline. And she's human, right? So I know this is a wardrobe question, but it's a bigger conversation for me because I feel like the reason she wanted to have Abaddon, Josie chose to be possessed by Abaddon, and it was sort of like a feminist movement of hers to be like, I know I could like break a glass ceiling as a woman here. And but originally, as scripted, I was just going to put the t-shirt on top of the dress, and Serge did not like that. He was like, no, it's weird if we're gonna keep her around to just have like a t-shirt over this dress. And so we went with the whole rockabilly outfit, which was very comfortable. It's nice when you're working and you get comfortable clothes, because often you don't. But yeah, and then when she came back and was like cleaned up, because also there was like that whole episode where I had my neck stitches and messed up makeup, which, you know, this is really funny because you know, it's kind of like when you're talking to people and then you like go to the bathroom and you have like spinach in your teeth and you're like, why didn't nobody tell me? Well, I would be talking, you know, on set and blah, 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 and then I go to the bathroom and then look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, I look dead. Like, it's just the weirdest thing. Or same thing with Black Canary. Like I had this like painted on mask and you don't think about it because you're not seeing it and you realize you're like, I look ridiculous. But that's in general just being a superhero. You know, Justin Hartley, y'all know Justin Hartley? Yeah. He played the Green Arrow. And he would often be like, because we'd stay at the same hotel when we were in town shooting, and he's like, why don't you show up at the bar in your Black Canary costume, and then I'll come in my Green Arrow costume, and then look at you and be like, you look ridiculous. Like he did. So funny. It's really stupid sometimes what we do, but anyways. Supernatural had like very decent costumes. They did a good job. And if you notice, everyone wore a coat because it's cold in Vancouver. And they figured out that it's cold. So they dressed us appropriately, which is very, very kind, because not often is that a consideration. Thank you. Okay, my hair keeps getting stuck to my lip gloss. Hello.
Hi, I was just wondering which you would prefer acting in between TV and movies and kind of the differences between them when you're acting.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Sorry. I was wondering what you would prefer acting in between TVs and movie and what's kind of the difference in them?
Yeah, acting between TV and movies. For me, it kind of comes down to like the experience, the opportunity, the character. So it doesn't really matter what I'm doing. I'll do all of it. I don't do theater, not because I'm against it. I just have never done it. And usually at this stage in your life, in your career, if you haven't done it, they're like, well, you haven't done it, so we're not going to give it to you, kind of situation. So my favorite era of movies, I started my career in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I loved that, like spotlight features and Miramax films and these like little art house indie $1 million movies, and that's kind of where my heart is. I would love to just make cool, dark indie movies for the rest of my career. That kind of, when streamers came along, television became that budget point where we were making like a movie a week in a serialized nature. Network television, like Supernatural, is a little bit different in its format, but with streamers, where we don't have to worry about ratings and flyover states, which we call them, which dictates whether or not your content is offensive, and then you sort of adjust accordingly, and this would happen in the network world. But now with streaming, there's not as many rules, and so the storytelling has gotten just a little richer, and I think more thought out and methodical. And so because they'll break a story for 5 seasons versus 1 episode at a time to see if it does well. We used to get like, oh, we'll do the pilot, and then we'll pick up the 9, and then we'll pick up the back 9. And now they're like, we're doing 6 episodes. So it's just a more cohesive story to tell from every medium, from writing to directing to acting to producing. And I feel like it gives better story, if that makes sense. There's a whole conversation about contracts and money, but I won't get into that because it's the business side of the business, and it's changed drastically, and that's what we went on strike for. And I'm not for or against either. It's just changed. Things have changed. But the integrity of storytelling should always be paramount, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
The thing too with you can tell this, the writers are kings of television. So if you ever notice, if you pay attention to like the trades, a showrunner is the head writer. They're the ones who get the deal to break a story. So like Shonda Rhimes or Eric Kripke or whatever. And so they dictate the story. In movies, even though they're written as well, the director is more the creative vision and the creative head. And then in television, the set, the energy on the set is sort of dictated by your 1s and 2s, so Jared and Jensen. And truthfully, that's why Supernatural lasted so long, because they're so great, they're easy to work with, they knew they had a good thing, and they kept going, and it's proof. And then in movies, the director sort of like dictates the tone of the set, and that can be good or bad or whatever, it's just a working environment. But they're all independent, which is nice, and they're all just a different experience. And the idea, I guess, would be everybody shows up and tells the story to the best of their integrity. So, thank you. No? Hi.
Hi. My question was, how did playing Abaddon compare to playing like the villain Twyla, Twist, and Riverdale?
Yeah, I play the bad guy a lot. And everyone asks like, what's more fun? Again, kind of just comes down to like, committing to the character. Twyla, I had so much fun on Riverdale. Did y'all watch Riverdale? It was fun. It was a fun show. I played Twyla for 2 seasons, and like the first season I was the queen of the ghoulies, and she was like this gang leader, and she was just like real cutthroat. Similar, I think, in essence to Abaddon, like kind of cocky, very loud, like my costume on Riverdale in general, all the costumes were super interesting. They had a great costume department. Very different from Supernatural. Equally as great, very different. And then when I came back for the next season, I read the script, and I don't get all the ins and outs. We don't know always what's happening. We're not in the writer's room. And if you're not a lead on the show, you usually aren't privy to the whole story breaking process. So I read the script and I'm like, it's still Twyla. It's still like they renewed my contract, but now I was a prostitute. And I was like, I want to do a good job, but I'm confused. How did this happen? And so it ended up being an alternate universe, but that I could get behind. But I was like, was it a career path decision? Who's like, I'm gonna lead a gang to, I'd like to be a prostitute. I don't understand, but it was a lot of fun. And the nice thing about Riverdale, especially that season, is they built my motel where I had my working space. And so I was like, oh, I was only ever in one day. And that's like the best job in television, in my opinion, as a single mom of 4. I was like, oh, good, I'm gonna work one day because they'll shoot out my scenes, because we have, the way they budget the time on the schedule is each scene gets sort of, each location gets shot out. So if I had 5 scenes, even if they were peppered throughout the episode, we shoot them all the same day. So Riverdale was fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi! I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Hi. I was wondering when you're coming to sit next to me in the vendor's room.
Soon.
Okay.
I love you. You look so cute.
Thank you. I love you back.
Sam Smith, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Okay, bye.
You want to come hang out with me?
I'll do this.
You gonna give me a hug? This is the blessing of this show. Honestly, so this is the best part about Supernatural. Sam and I never worked together. We met at a convention in Birmingham, Liverpool, something like that. Birmingham. And I was like, I'm gonna keep her. I love her. She was there with her husband and her son. And then she was like, we exchanged numbers. And she's like, let's go get coffee when we get back home. And we did. And now we get to travel around the world and live our lives together. I love you. Yeah, that's just, again, such a blessing. And I'm fortunate enough to have had that on a lot of shows, but Supernatural is just like genuinely the gift that keeps on giving. Ruthie is one of my best friends, same thing. I met her, it might have been the same convention. We had a panel together, which we'd never met before, and then someone gave us a glass of wine. Or maybe Ruth brought the wine. Wine was involved, and jet lag. And we did a relay race with wine, and I just was like, well, I'm keeping her, which is really nice. So yeah, it's been a gift to us. So who's all from Oklahoma here? Nice. And it's your first, this is the first convention we've had here?
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all gotta tell your friends. Yeah, who's been to other Supernatural conventions? Okay. Where? Shout out some cities. Okay, like Texas. Denver? Okay. Indy? Yeah. Huh?
San Fran.
Oh wow, that's far. Boston? Austin, Hawaii. I didn't get to go to that one. Was that fun? We had it on your birthday? Just for you. Really? She's like, shut up. Don't bring attention. I know. We hate attention. Are you guys going to the concert on Saturday? Yeah. Did y'all watch the game last night? No basketball fans? Yeah, it was sad. I'm sorry. I know, I was driving in and I was like, ooh. All right, well, I could sing, I could dance. I will not do either. But I'm excited to be here. I feel like I speak for everyone when I say this. We do this because we genuinely enjoy it. Not everybody does. I've definitely been on shows where people are like, conventions, those are scary. I don't want to be on a stage talking to people about my character or my process, and it's just not for everybody. So I always feel like it's such a blessing. Like, I found this with franchises that I've been a part of that are so large, like Supernatural, like Stargate, like Smallville. You go to these conventions and people will come, and what we're seeing more and more as the show's gotten a little bit older is like families, and people watch it like, who's here with their kids, or with their families? Yeah, 3? See? So cute. Like, people are like, we watch it together, or, now my kids have grown up on the show, and it's just so, you feel like you're part of everybody's family a little bit, and it's cute. So, hi, I was just talking. Hi.
You kind of briefly mentioned your early modeling career as like a tween teen. I was wondering if you could just talk a little more about that, what that was like, what you remember from that.
Yeah, I am very grateful that there was no social media. All of us that are like a little mature are like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't have Snapchat growing up. Modeling is an interesting medium. Like, I think for me, it's always been an artistic, fun thing. I kind of just do photo shoots for fun when I'm bored, like I'll art direct them. My daughter's a model, my son and my daughter, my older two, and she got scouted from a photo shoot that we did together just as a creative to promote the 100. I think we shot it right before the 100. It's changed a lot, which I'm grateful for. And there's a lot more provisions. Like in the acting world, as I'm sure you guys are aware, like there's not a lot of child actors who sort of make it out unscathed. And there's now a lot of like legal provisions to prevent things like taking money and hours. And even like I said, when Lincoln and I did Jonah, like he could only work 2 hours and then he had to be in school and then he had to have a break. So they couldn't work, and then his total time to work, we call it pumpkin. They're like, Lincoln's gonna pumpkin. I think he could only work 6 hours a day, and 4 of that was like school. So productions are really like held to accountability. In the modeling world, it's not. And in the 90s was like the heroin chic era. And I remember like going to work and they'd be like, could you maybe not eat lunch because we're still shooting? But you've been there since 6 a.m. and you're there till 6 p.m. and they just kind of expected you not to eat, so you didn't make, you weren't bloated in the pictures or whatever. So when I returned to modeling in my 40s, and the agency my daughter's with was like, can you come work for us? And I was like, if you tell me to lose weight, no. And thankfully, I think there's a lot more, I think everything is represented now, which I'm grateful for. But yeah, I'm certainly a fan of the art of modeling and print and all that. I think it's a lot of fun. I just did a cool photo shoot for a lingerie brand this week, and it was fun. It was great. It's a great brand, and we mostly do social media now. Like, this is crazy. We don't do print work anymore. Now we do TikToks. I literally did a whole day of TikToks yesterday for bras. Very interesting. So look out for those. Hey.
You had mentioned wanting to explore Josie's character a little bit. Do you think it would have been more interesting to explore her character adjusting to modern life, or her backstory as someone working for the Men of Letters more?
Like her coming from the 50s to current day? Yeah, I mean, I always think that's interesting, like just the generational differences. I think for her, like, the integrity of the men of letters and the magic and like the study that she had to put into it, and her being like held back from it was, to me, what the draw was, what is the story I think would have been interesting and something cool to explore, especially given that we have a history on the show of I'm not gonna say it, but y'all know. So I think it would have been an interesting storyline to explore, but I also just think in general, which is what we did on Riverdale. We went back into the 50s, which is original Archie, and it was just supposed to be for a couple of episodes, but it ended up staying for the whole season, mostly because of budget. Like, they switched all the sets, and then they're like, oh, it's expensive to switch it back. But we got some cool wardrobe out of it. But same thing with Marlon Brando, like shooting a period piece is always really fun. And for me, like real life, experiencing like, oh, I wasn't alive in the 70s. So that, I'm experiencing that in real time of, oh, we didn't have FaceTime and cell phones, and Tahiti in and of itself is an escape, but I still had, my kids could still text me and be like, can you cash out me money for pizza? I'm like, you know, back in my day, I had to work. But yeah, so that's actually a big part of the movie, is like just kind of adjusting to life without modern conveniences. I don't know if that answers your question at all, but time is interesting for sure. Thank you. Nope. Hi.
Hello, good afternoon, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I kind of just have a general question. Other than being here with us, what brought you some joy this week?
Oh, thank you, that's very sweet. Well, I lived in Los Angeles for a long time, and I was just there working, like I mentioned, doing TikToks. And I went and had Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, which is one of my favorites. And my friend took a picture of me, and she's like, wow, you look ridiculously happy. Well, chicken and waffles goes a long way. But no, honestly, like, looking forward to doing something like this and seeing all my friends and knowing we're gonna have a good time and make memories. Half the time, like, I think sometimes we forget what city we're in, and we're just like, remember that time where the green room was like this? And they all kind of blend together, but the experience is like, is so rich. So, I hear motion. So yeah, what else are you guys looking forward to this weekend? Are you guys going to, does Misha have his event this weekend? Yeah? Okay, I haven't been to it. He invited me to the one in Brooklyn, but I was not there on time. What else? What else are you guys interested in? Any other shows you're watching right now? Shout them out. What? Hacks? Oh, I like Hacks. Severance, I haven't seen. Sirens? Oh, I heard that's good. Have you seen the Neighbors and Friends or something on Apple? John Hamm. Our Friends and Neighbors. Did you watch it? It's a good one. Yeah. Stranger Things? I'm bad. I never got into that one. Did y'all watch it? All of it? Same. I feel like that's what's happening now. Like, people are really committed for 2 seasons, and they're like, oh, there's 8,000 other shows and TikToks to watch. Season 4?
Yeah.
What, of Stranger Things?
Yellow Jackets.
Oh, I like Yellow Jackets, yeah. That shoots in Vancouver also. Yeah. I should get on that show. Handmaid's Tale's good. My daughter auditioned for that one. It's heavy. I don't know if I'd want to work on a show like that, to be honest. It's a great story to watch, but I don't know if I'd want to live it every day. Are we waiting for other people?
We are not.
Oh.
Hello.
How was your time?
How are you?
It was good. I love it here. Yeah. Hi, guys.
How was this crowd?
Amazing.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome today.
Thank y'all. Thanks for coming out.
Please give it up for the one and only Miss Alaina Huffman.